All right, let's talk about that one thing that gets all of us, procrastination. But forget everything you've heard about to-do lists and willpower. Today, we're going to look right inside your brain to figure out why this happens and how you can actually outsmart your own biology. Let's dive in.
Seriously, think about it. You've got that huge, life-changing deadline looming, the one that could define your career, your grades, your whole future. And yet, what are you thinking? You know, a few hours of scrolling TikTok sounds way better right now. How is it that a tiny little screen has so much power over your biggest goals?
And here's the most important thing you need to hear right now. It's not your fault. No, you're not lazy. You're not undisciplined. You're just working with a piece of hardware, your brain, that was literally designed for a completely different world. It's running on a program that's millions of years old.
So what's this ancient program all about? Well, it's pretty simple. Find the fastest possible reward for the least amount of work. It's a survival thing, you know? But in our modern world, that old wiring sends us walking straight into something I like to call the instant gratification trap.
Now, there's a really cool scientific term for this that researchers have studied for ages. It's called temporal discounting. And here's an easy way to think about it. Your brain thinks a small cookie you can eat right now is way more valuable than a giant cake you have to wait a whole week for. In the exact same way, that big promotion 6 months from now just feels fake, almost worthless, compared to the tiny little dopamine hit you get from your phone this very second.
And this is the calculation your brain is making, like all the time without you even noticing. It sees TikTok and goes, ooh, no effort, instant pleasure. Yes, please, safe. Then it looks at study and goes, whoa, high effort, reward is way off in the future, maybe, nope, too risky, avoid. I mean, guess which one wins that battle most of the time?
Okay, so if our brain is totally wired for these quick and easy wins, what in the world happens when we have to face those big, important, kind of scary projects? Well, it turns out it's not just about picking the easy option. Your brain is actively trying to push you away from the hard stuff for some very real neurological reasons.
For starters, your amygdala, that's your brain's little alarm system, it just freaks out. Big tasks come with a risk of failure, and your brain treats that uncertainty like a real threat. Then there's cognitive overload. When a project is just this giant, messy blob with no clear starting point, your brain just kind of short circuits to save energy. And on top of all that, there are no little pats on the back along the way. You can study for 2 hours and feel like you've gotten absolutely nowhere, so your brain gets zero positive feedback to keep going.
And all of that brings us to this huge, game-changing insight from psychologist Dr. Timothy Pychyl. He says procrastination isn't about managing your time better, it's about managing your emotions. We procrastinate to avoid feeling bad, feeling bored or frustrated or that nagging self-doubt. It's just an escape route for our feelings.
Okay, so that's the why. A little depressing, I know. But now let's get to the good stuff, the how. If this whole thing is an emotional issue wired into our brains, we can't just bully our way through it. No, we've got to be smarter. We have to kind of trick our brain into playing along. So here are 4 super simple hacks to reboot your focus right now.
First up, the 5-minute rule. Just tell yourself you're only going to do it for 5 minutes. That's it. You'll be amazed at how the resistance just melts away once you start. Next, shrink the task. Don't write "study for the exam" on your list. Right? Read 2 pages. Your brain loves a task it knows it can actually finish. Third, kill the fast stimuli. Put your phone in another room. Think of it like a sugar detox for your brain's attention. And finally, move for 60 seconds. Do some jumping jacks. A quick burst of motion can actually boost your focus.
So those little hacks are fantastic for just getting the ball rolling. But for the long haul, for real consistency, you need to build a system. A system that works with your brain's natural cravings, not against them.
A really good reward system basically follows 3 simple rules. 1, the reward has to happen right away, not in a month. 2, it has to be something you can control, something with an end, not an endless social media scroll. And 3, you have to see your progress. You know that little dopamine hit you get from checking something off a list? That's what we're talking about. It reinforces the habit.
So here's what that actually looks like. The whole goal is to make that feedback loop shorter. So instead of some vague promise of a reward next month, give yourself a small one after just 30 minutes of hard work. And instead of a reward that can trap you for hours, pick something with a clear finish line, like watching one episode of a show. The key here is to make the reward quick and definite.
Now, all of this is leading us to the final And I think the most important piece of this whole puzzle. Because the real secret to what we call discipline, yeah, it has almost nothing to do with gritting your teeth and just trying harder.
And here it is. This is probably the biggest takeaway of all. Stop trying to muscle your way through tasks using willpower. It's like a battery, and it runs out. The most productive, disciplined people on Earth aren't willpower heroes. They're architects. They design their environment so that doing the right thing is actually the easiest option.
This quote from James Clear's incredible book, Atomic Habits, just says it all. Make good habits obvious and bad habits invisible. Don't just try to have more motivation. Make your textbook the only thing on your desk. Make your phone invisible by literally putting it in a drawer in another room. You have to design your world for success.
So I'm going to leave you with this one question. Instead of asking, how can I be more disciplined tomorrow? Ask yourself this. What is one bad habit, one single distraction that you can make just a little bit harder to get to, or maybe even completely invisible, starting right now? Because the answer to that question, well, it could actually change everything.